Hey, it's Brenna. Welcome to Tea Time Tarot. This is my second reading on past or deceased loved ones that I've ever done for a camera that I usually do for a person face to face where they can say yes, no, yes, no. So I'm going to put what I got out there, and it may resonate with just a few specific people, but I feel called to do it. There was two different energies that came to me today where I felt like I should just do this, and it means so for the person this resonates with, please leave a comment. That would mean a lot to me because it means that I'm on point and I would do this again. Or so, if this resonates with you, let me know that I should do this type of reading again. What you think, should I not do this type of reading again, or you didn't like it, or you liked it. Just your opinion, because this is very different for me, all right? The second person I got today, the first person I came through in the video prior to this, and it's going to be labeled person 1. So this is going to be labeled person 2. And the second person coming through for me is an ex-husband, an ex-boyfriend, or an ex-baby daddy. It's an ex-lover. I don't know how else to put that. But you were broken up when they passed. They are coming through very heartbroken to tell you, the viewer, that they wished you never broke up. They wish they could have worked things out, or you could have worked things out, so they could be together with you. They do know that the fact you were broken up from them, prior to them passing away, probably kept your marbles together because you weren't like so exclusively like wrapped into each other that when they passed it was like, oh my god, I want to kill myself. That you were definitely able to hold it together. And the reason I said baby daddy, lover, ex-husband is I feel you had kids together. They want to come through and they want to say how sorry they were for what they did to cause the separation in the first place, and they want to make some kind of peace and reconciliation with you. In your heart, they are always with you. I know that a lot of you are intuitive and psychic and empathic, so I'm sure you feel them with you. I just heard look out for signs such as feeling a hand on your shoulder, or an arm around your, I can't see me, but an arm around your shoulder, so some kind of motion on your shoulder. Let me see. There is old letters that were written. This is a weird thing to say, but they were like, hey honey, I fed the baby 6 ounces at 10 o'clock, going to work, love you, bye. So you could sleep in after they went to work, and you could wake up and, after they went to work, and be available for the next feeding of the baby, so to speak, because, so these letters may be very old. They may be 20, 30, 40 years old, where they, like, I fed the baby this much, or because I'm assuming, well, at this point I'm assuming you were not breastfeeding, so they were bottle feeding for you while you were asleep and going off to work and leaving you these little notes for you in the morning. And you still have 1 or 2 of them laying around in the dresser drawer that mean a lot to you, that still hold a lot of sentimental value. And, they notice you've pulled them out in the reason, maybe that's the reason why you pulled those letters out, and it's reminding you of the whole relationship you had, which is beautiful before it fell apart. But in the beginning, it was beautiful when you first had your children, and it was like, the flowers and the letters and the kinds of things like that, and the gifts and the beautiful part of the relationship. And you reading those they were little letters that it was like a note, going to work, blah, 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 blah. And it didn't seem very romantic, but looking back on it, it's just like, oh, it catches your heart really, really desperately indeed. I'm going to pull some tarot cards and see if there's anything else that the tarot cards can't tell me. I feel that they died young. I've got young as in 41, and young as in 29. So, Those don't have to be the ages, but those are some of the ages. That's got 28 as well. So these may be some of the ages that you did get. 33 is another age I just got. This person can have a B initial, an A initial, or an S initial. Doesn't have to. I could be totally off, but if these do resonate with you, let me know. Again, please comment, please comment, please comment. I'd appreciate it. Yeah. You were raising children together when it happened, so it's very hard leaving the children behind for your person. Is just had a hard time letting go, moving on into the light, and you know, healing and doing what you do in heaven, you know, because they didn't want to leave their children behind. The children were quite young. They were under the age of 15. We have 2 children under the age of 15, and I feel like it's a boy and a girl. I mean, I'm gonna say what I see. I could be only resonating with one person out there, but if it is you, please comment. A boy and a girl, and they wanted to come back to you to make things, to make up with you and make right with you and get back together. And they were working on kind of doing that before they passed away, and that might have left you a little sad that, you know, right in the middle of possibly getting back together, that, you know, they passed away. This person I'm feeling is a heart attack, and this heart attack could be caused by, I'm getting high blood pressure, but I'm also getting crack cocaine drug usage possibly as well. I feel that it wore the heart down over time, the usage of the crack cocaine. But also, it could have been a heroin overdose, so I do feel drugs were involved with that. I don't think you knew they did crack or cocaine or heroin. I think if you knew of it, it was like, whoa, what? You know, so you just learned of it either right before they died or right after they died. I don't think you were aware that they were doing that. Let's see. Their mother is still alive, and they were a hard worker, working long hours. So even when you were together, the kids were little. It was you didn't see too much of them. They might have had 2 jobs. I'm not sure. I do feel like they were working very hard. Feels like maybe that was a lot of what frustrated you, was like not a lot of alone time together with the kids, and not a lot of romantic time together with working. So 2 jobs, I feel like, and just being constantly gone at work. There wasn't enough time to spend together in a romantic fashion, and I think that might have been what broke you up. I'm not sure, but it does just show them working a lot and putting a strain on the relationship. The Empress card just came out, and that indicates you are the mother of their children, so that just confirms to me that what I said about you being the mother of their children is true. Their passing was a shock. It was definitely sudden, and they were young, and you were like, everyone was like, what the hell? So it was a really big shock to everybody. It wasn't expected whatsoever. There was no illness, or nobody was ill, and you know, I mean, if they had high blood pressure, they were taking medication, but no one was expecting this, and yeah. Hold on a second. Okay. It might have been only just one child. I mean, I've been more than one child. Let me just check a couple more cards. I've got only one child out here. I have the marriage card, so this is an ex-husband. Or it felt like an ex-husband, a very serious bond. Yeah, it felt like an ex-husband. I mean, if you had kids with somebody, it does feel like an ex-husband, you know, a husband, ex-husband. But, yeah, I've got only one kid, and that's between the ages of 5 and 15. And I'm gonna say it was a boy, and the boy is very devastated, and you know, remembers everything about the father and just really looks up to him and tries to be like he was and kind of follow in his footsteps of what he saw of his father, because he was his hero. You know, he didn't know about any of the drugs being involved. He didn't know that, and you didn't know any of it either. So you continued to talk very kindly about him, and he's so great. Your ex-husband's so grateful that you spoke so highly of him to everyone after he passed, because your son really took that into consideration and did their best to emulate and act like their past father. Yeah, I feel like the drugs was a secret, because it's the secretive part of the high priestess comes out. And I think they didn't want you to know because they didn't want to cause an argument, because you didn't do any type of drugs with them. This was a solo activity that they had going on, or they did it with some other friends or something. But you had no idea, so you were actually really shocked. So you don't speak negatively of that when you do speak of them, and they're so grateful. You don't run around telling everybody about the drug usage that you found out after they died or right before they died. And they want to say thank you for keeping my memory alive in a really good way, so that they're still seen as a really good person that they were, and they appreciate that, and they appreciate you not being judgmental towards them for finding that out. And they have a lot of love for you. They miss you very much. If you see, red is a color for you guys both, and I mean, it sounds cheesy, but maybe even Valentine's Day was something. It was always red flowers versus any type of flowers. There were red jewelry like garnets, rubies. So I feel as though red was definitely some kind of theme going on for you guys, and it'll make sense to you. It'll resonate with you. It may not make sense to me, but I'm just going to say it. So if this is your person, please do comment. This is the end of the reading. Very different for me today. So comment whether you liked it, you loved it, you hated it. And thank you for tuning in. Have a great morning, evening, afternoon, whatever the heck time you're watching this. Stay cool. I love you. Peace.